Demeter Joe.
Good morning to you. Today on the show we present an exclusive interview with one of the music world's true superstars, Janet Jackson, who's in Australia for her concert tour. Even at her tender age, Janet's achievements are quite extraordinary. And coming from a family where extraordinary is normal, that's saying something. Her 1986 album Control sold 8 million copies. Rhythm Nation notched up another 8 million. In so doing, making her the first artist in music history to play 7 top 5 singles from one album. She then embarked on the most successful concert tour by any new artist. She's won American Music Awards, a Grammy, she's made a movie, Poetic Justice, but nothing could compare with the stunning success of her current album, simply titled Janet. 10 million copies so far, and the hits are still coming. Your first album, Control, was about a young woman taking control. Rhythm Nation was about love and peace and humanitarian issues. This album is all about sex.
Everybody says that it's all about sex.
Well, it is.
It's very sensual.
Yeah.
It's about making love.
Okay.
It's very sensual. Yes, it is. I feel that I'm a late bloomer, really. I was a tomboy for the longest, and you could really see that with Rhythm Nation. I still have a lot of it in me, but I feel that I'm maturing, getting a little bit more feminine.
Well, right from the first glance at the album, it was obviously going to be a very sensual, provocative, sexy album. You had no reservations about the cover shot?
No, it's just a headshot.
Well, the rear cover shot, though.
The stomach?
Yeah.
No, it's just the stomach. I think it's not crass. It's done in a very classy way, whether it's the album and the topics or the album cover, actually, or better yet, the cover of Rolling Stone magazine, which is the full piece.
You had an extra hurdle to get over to prove that, you know, Janet was her own person and her own talent, and not just, you know, little sister of the big brothers. Did that strengthen your resolve? I mean, I guess it must have.
Definitely, most definitely. With my first album, I didn't even want my last name on it, because I didn't want anyone to know that, I didn't mind them knowing that I was a Jackson, but I didn't want them to buy the album because I was the sister of the Jackson 5. I wanted them to buy because they heard it on the radio and they liked it, or word of mouth, more so than anything, but not because I was a Jackson. So I worked really hard, and for that reason, I didn't have any of the brothers write any music. I didn't ask them to produce anything. I wanted to do it all on my own. I didn't want help from my family at all.
It takes an enormous amount of tenacity as well as talent to make it in this business. Could you have done it, or would you have done it, if you hadn't had all those older brothers?
Definitely, definitely.
You could have and you would have?
Mm-hmm. Because it's something in my heart that I feel that I want, that I wanted. And I'm a dreamer. I love to dream, and I feel that nothing's impossible. You have to be dedicated, have that ambition, and that I have. I was really surprised when I got a call. He said, congratulations. I said, for what? And they said, well, Aretha Franklin held the record in the world for the most gold singles, and now you've beat her with 15. I said, oh my God. You know, I don't think about those things. You know, I do my music, I create, I write, and I do what I love. I don't think about trying to break this record, except for one record I would like to break.
What's that?
That's my brother's. I'd like to hold the record for the biggest selling album of all time, which he knows it.
How do you keep topping what you've done? I mean, you've won so many awards, you've sold so many albums. You know, if the next album doesn't sell 10 million copies, will you find yourself sort of disappointed?
Will I be disappointed?
Well, you know what I mean. How do you keep topping yourself all the time?
Well, I don't sit there and say, okay, I'm going to do this. This is going to be much better than that. even though with each project I do, I try to do my best, and I feel that I grow, and once I have nothing, there's no growth left. I feel there's nothing else left to give, that's when I will quit. But I feel I still have a lot in me that I want to do and I want to give. I just go in and I do what I feel in my heart. And if it does better than the next project, great, that's great. But you can't let it get you down if it's not as successful as the last. That doesn't make you a failure in any sense of the word. I think you're a failure when you give up. That's when you have failed. But you don't ever give up, ever. No matter what anyone says, writes, you can't give up.
I just wanted to tell you how proud I am of you and how much you've inspired me and how proud I am to be your sister and how much I love you. I do.
It must have been a particular thrill for you at the Grammys presenting that Legends Award.
Yes, I was very excited when he asked me to. I was really happy to do something like that.
Yeah.
I love him very dearly.
You two are just the most fierce competitors and rivals, aren't you?
We have fun though. We love one another, and that's what makes it a lot different. Normally people are at each other's throats when they're like that, but there's enough room for everyone. That's the way I see it.
The worst kept secret in the music world is that you two have done a duet together. What's it like?
The worst kept secret. It is the worst kept secret. Well, it really wasn't supposed to be a secret. We just never told anyone, just his camp and my camp, and that's basically it. But people kept seeing me go to New York and coming in and out, and the paparazzi, they were there, and they started kind of putting two and two together. She's been here a little too long to just be visiting. Something's going on. It was great. I enjoyed it. Every second of it working with him, because this is the first time we've sang together. We've never sang together before. We wrote the song, and I like it. So I hope everyone else does.
A question that you must have been asked a million times. How do you feel when you see this massive publicity about
what's going on with him?
Your brother.
It hurts. It hurts. It comes with the business, though, you know. There's always someone trying to take shots at you, trying to tear you down, pulling you by the, you know, the bootstraps, trying to yank you down. And you will get greedy people in this world that are just so money hungry. It hurts, and it's just a bunch of BS. It happens, and there's nothing that you can do. That's the bad part of the business. The great part of the business is creating and performing, and it comes along with it. So you don't let that get in your way, though. You keep pushing forward. You look straight ahead and you stay focused. You don't let that hurt you. And he is such a strong person, and it killed him that all of this happened. And very strong, and he's even stronger now since all of this has happened. I think a lot of people are going to see his true feelings about all of this stuff on his history album.
You're so incredibly down to earth. It's amazing to
thank you
to meet you like this. How do you do that?
I have to thank or credit my parents for that. I suppose they always made sure our feet were firmly planted on the ground. It's like no matter how many girls screamed at my brothers, or how many shows you did, or playing stadiums, or whatever it may be, when you came home, the dogs needed feeding, the floor needs mopping, the dishes need doing, and we did it. And that kept our heads very level. No egos. I don't like that at all. They don't like that. They didn't allow it. And I thank them for that, thank God.
It's nice to hear your parents getting some credit, because they've sort of copped the other side of it.
Yeah, always, always. It's always like that. I mean, with everyone. And it seems like they do it a little more so with my family, for whatever reason, I don't know, but...
Yeah, that must hurt big time when it's like your sister doing it.
Oh, yes, that hurt very much. And just to read things, or saying, oh, I spoke to so-and-so, or this or that, or saying that she spoke to me, and we don't talk. We do not talk. She's even written things about myself which really upset me, but I'll never forget, but I can forgive for that. But when you attack my mother, that's a whole nother ball game. That's a different story. Or my brother, I'm sorry. It's like, if you do something to me, I can forgive you, but when it comes to doing something else, and it really hurt because it was my sister, it hurt very deeply. But the way that I see it, she's not herself. I don't know who this person is that I she on these infomercial psychic this or this Playboy thing, because she grew up so quiet, the shyest of all of us. It's so funny because she, you know, she'd have on her pajamas, and if you walk in her room without knocking, she'd just scream, and she's there fully clothed with her pajamas. It's, ah, my pajamas are on. Wait, I gotta get a robe. I mean, that was my sister. So when I see her in Playboy with nothing on, it's like, oh my God, what is she doing? Maybe she's changing. I don't know, but I do know that the person that I see on TV, I can even see it in the eyes. It's not the same person that I grew up with. Totally different person.
Yeah. Well, you're a great credit to everyone around you, including your parents, and it's lovely to see you again here in Australia.
Nice seeing you too.